Today, Dominica will tell us a bit more about how Action1 redefines vulnerability remediation. So, Dominica, again, I will let you to speak and I will mute myself. Good luck.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Lev. I really appreciate the introduction here. Let me share my screen. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the quick presentation and the live demo for Beyond Patching on how Action1 redefines vulnerability remediation. So as you can see, my name is Dominica. I am joining in from the sales side here, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Action1 as a company for today's session. But more importantly, I'm also pleased to introduce my colleague, Francois, our technical guru, as I like to call him. Now, Francois works closely with customers to design and implement effective patch and vulnerability management strategies. And he will be running a quick live demo for us today as well. But before we get into the technical nitty-gritties, a little bit more about Action1. So Action1 is a cloud-native patch and endpoint management platform, and we've been founded in 2018. We're headquartered in Houston, Texas. We're trusted by 10,000 plus organizations worldwide, including very big brands like eBay, Nestle, IG, and Baxter, many, many more. And our platform achieves 99% patch success rate, has patched over 10 million endpoints, and keeps on non-compliance under 1%. So essentially dramatically reducing the risk from unpatched vulnerabilities. And industry recognition backs this up. So we have multiple G2 and Capterra, as well as GetUp awards for best value, usability, and support. And in terms of the way that we've been founded, as you can see, Action1 is a founder-led company by industry veterans Alex Fox and Mike Walters. So before starting Action1, they co-founded Nutrix, which grew into a multi-billion-dollar industry-leading cybersecurity company, which I definitely recommend checking out as well. But their combined experience in building the global security solutions is what pretty much drives Action1's mission to eliminate breaches caused by the unpatched vulnerabilities by making that patch management simple, scalable, and autonomous. And what is exactly Action1? So what we do, Action1 delivers patch management that just works, right? In simple words. So we are purpose-built to stop breaches caused by unpatched vulnerabilities. So we have pioneered an autonomous approach to endpoint management. This means that the platform automatically discovers vulnerabilities, it prioritizes them, and then it remediates the issues. So it dramatically shortens the time between the new threat and a secure patch device. We are cloud native and VPN free. So of course, our platform is secured and cloud native. There is no need for on-prem servers or VPN connections. It works seamlessly for remote and hybrid environments. And it scales to thousands of endpoints without any additional infrastructure. You have a very fast setup and simple operations. So you can pretty much be up and running within 5 minutes. The interface is very intuitive, so the IT teams can focus on strategic work instead of managing complex patching solutions. And then probably the most intriguing feature here is the free edition to get started. So the first 200 endpoints are free, and they are free indefinitely, so forever, with full functionality. This makes it very easy for organizations of all sizes, right, to protect their entire environment right away, but also to have that testing period to really do their POC in their own time as well. In short, I would say, again, Action1 combines the speed, the automation, and the scalability to keep every endpoint secure and compliant wherever it is and without operational overhead. There we go. And so, again, one of the main points of focus today is how quickly you can set up Action1 to be able to get going with patching. So ideally, within 5 minutes, which is certainly achievable. But of course, it all depends on the state of your environment, on the size of your environment. It can take a little bit longer. But if you're simply trying to target a collection of devices, it can be done pretty fast, hence the 5 minutes. Now on to some of the key features of the platform. Of course, we support third-party patching, which pairs directly with our software repository. So important note here, within Action1, we maintain our own private repository. We have our own team. Their whole job is to make sure that we release the latest versions of the packages that we support. This covers 99% patching coverage from most of the enterprise environments. And with that, the repository itself, that essentially will allow you to then push out those patches to devices as you need. Even if they are offline, what we do, we can trigger and set those patches up to reoccur after hours as well, or when they come back online. And we find that a lot of our customers find a lot of value in this because what we find is that a lot of focus right now is being put on the operating systems rather than on the third-party application patching. And then when we look at the actual statistics, we start to find that the high number of vulnerabilities that organizations have in their environments, more often than not, come from those third-party software. So we definitely want to highlight that today. We do have a bunch of enterprise integrations. A lot of these can be around things like SSO, Active Directory, Entra ID, Okta, Google, things like that. And then, of course, we also have our own REST API, and we enable PowerShell scripting. So you can basically bring in and do your own integration of your choosing as well. We do offer vulnerability management. So when we look at the idea of patching through Action1, ultimately, the reason why we're doing patching is to fix vulnerabilities. And so with that, essentially, we give you a vulnerability scanner. And that vulnerability scanner will then allow you to identify what vulnerabilities exist in your environment from an operating standpoint, and then third-party application standpoint, and then we do the remediation accordingly, and then we'll showcase that to you later with Francois as well. But between fully automated patching and then targeted remediation, we really find that it's pretty easy to see those numbers go down dramatically in regards to vulnerabilities detected in your environment. And then on top of that, we have P2P peer-to-peer distribution as well. Essentially, what we're aiming with that is securing is essentially reducing the amount of bandwidth that you are using and consuming when you are starting to do your updates across your environment. So for example, let's say you are downloading a Chrome to 100 devices. So instead of doing it one by one 100 times, you can download that package one time over the LAN, create it as a package and then share it over the LAN to make sure that you're not spending more bandwidth than necessary on those patches in place across your environment. And then finally, real-time visibility. So when you go and sign up and play around with the platform, you'll quickly notice that wherever you go, somewhere within the Action1 console, we're constantly doing real-time queries, showcasing you the data as it appears at that moment in time. And overall, the console is very fast and responsive, which you'll also see today. But just before we do that, let's turn our attention a little bit into security, right? So a critical aspect of our platform that ensures your operations are protected with advanced features and industry certifications. As you can see here on the slide, the security features that Action1 has include multi-factor authentication using both app-based and then email methods to enhance your login security. Seamless integration with a single sign-on providers like Entra ID, Okta, Google, etc. For the more simplified access management. Strong TLS 1.2, AES 256 for encryption protocol to secure the agent communication. IP restriction that allows you to control access based on network policies. Role-based access controls, comprehensive audit that tracks all actions within the platform for accountability. And then also built-in malware patch scanning to ensure endpoint protection on top of everything else that we already have. And then, of course, Action1 adherence to globally recognized certification and compliance standards, including ISO 27 and SOC 2 Type 2. New certifications, including CSA and CISA, secure by design, compliance with multiple different standards. As you can see here, I think probably most relevant for the folks here is GDPR compliance. Our data is stored in AWS in Frankfurt, just for a quick point of reference here as well. And now on to a more exciting latest updates. So the 2025 December release delivered some of our most significant platform upgrades, focused on advancing autonomous endpoint management across Windows, macOS, and Linux. So the goal of this release is to simplify cross-OS patching. And with that, what we're aiming to do is strengthen the enterprise-grade security controls and streamline connectivity across distributed environments, right? So the following sections that are highlighted here have been added. As you can see, Linux support for unified patch management. This release essentially introduces Linux starting with Debian and Ubuntu, fully integrated into the platform and our patching engine. Admins can now manage patching for Windows, macOS, and Linux from a single console with Red Hat and a couple of other distributions coming here soon on our roadmap. This significantly expands our cross-platform capabilities. Enterprise-wide visibility. So we've added unified real-time visibility across your organizations. So all device types now can roll into a consolidated dashboards, enabling faster vulnerability detection, improved insight, more effective large-scale environment management, and so on. And then PowerShell script signing. So for organizations with script compliance needs, Action1 now supports optional enforcement of digitally signed PowerShell scripts. Now, this ensures that automation and remediation scripts are trusted, are verified, and they're compliant with security and regulatory requirements. We also simplified our connectivity. So agents now default to communication port 443, the most widely allowed outbound port out there. This reduces the need to have custom firewall rules and improves reliability for complex enterprise networks. And then we enhanced our update rings. So we redefined the update ring logic to ensure the more smoother, more reliable patch deployments. The improvements essentially will reduce the rollout risks. They will minimize the outages and then support better control across staged deployments cycles. And then lastly here, we expanded our software repository. So for anyone who's already familiar with the platform, you know that we maintain our own private repository. And with that in mind, with every release, we add on additional applications. Now with this release, we've added 37 additional Windows and macOS applications. They are vetted, they are secured, they are continuously maintained, providing a safer, more reliable alternative to those community maintained sources for application deployment. And now onto some helpful links. So here on the screen, you can see a couple of QR codes. The first one is for our GitHub, when you can find additional scripts that you can use in our environment. You also have our Discord. That's where you'll find most of our free tier users, where they build their community, sharing their experiences, questions, queries, nuggets of wisdom, as I like to call it. And of course, Reddit as well, pretty self-explanatory, I think. But again, you can go there and interact with our community, ask questions, and so on. And then lastly, here from my side, as you can see from these QR codes on the screen, you can directly sign up to the platform, take a look as we go through it at the same time right now. And whenever you have any questions, feel free to direct them to Hermitage, and then we can take it from there. Now, we can transition over to my colleague Francois to showcase a bit of the Action1 platform. But of course, if anyone has any questions, do put them in the Q&A section.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So happy New Year. Wish you all the best. And don't forget to patch with or without us. So like Dominika say, we are a SaaS solution. So the first thing is to deploy our agent. So we have Windows, Mac, and Linux agents. So you can use, you can download from this portal page or use command line or direct link. You can use any third-party tools like Intune or GPOs. Most of our customers are doing that for Windows. And as soon as you deploy the agent, you will see that we will detect on the fly the install application on your endpoint. We will detect the vulnerabilities and the missing updates. And on this dashboard, you can modify your SLA in terms of how many days you need to to patch, to fix a vulnerability. And the same for patching, how many days you need to apply a critical patch, important patch, etc. And you will get this matrix, so our vulnerabilities and updates. So let's focus on vulnerabilities first. So you can see here I have 105 overdue vulnerabilities. And here we will display all the CVE that we have detected on your environment. And you see all the CV, of course, you have the CVSS score, the CSAF CAVE information, but we provide a lot of information. So if you click on it, you will see all the endpoints involved, the software involved, of course, and the details. Details are, again, you will find the CVSS score, the CSAF CAVE information, but the source, where we get this information. So basically, we are using the NVD database, but I don't know if you have been following up back in April last year, the Trump administration stopped some fundings. So there was a huge backlog. So that's why we use now the NVD++ as a second reference, and we use the Microsoft one. So we have 3 sources of information. So from here, you can start to remediate. So, but bear in mind that some CVE doesn't have updates. So for example, if I click this one, I will start to remediate. This one will say, okay, you see that there is option here, and you can mark as installed software. So you will do something manually, or you can mark as deployed update, and you provide your own update. But this one is basically just a guidance, how to, basically, you see this is one concerning Visual Studio. There is a similar one on Python. It's basically, you need to document how you are going to mitigate that procedure, that vulnerability. So here you need to state what is your procedure internally, and you just click finish, and that's it. So this will remove the vulnerability from, you see, we are down to 153 from the dashboard. It still will be displayed under vulnerability as a control apply, but you can modify it, you can go back. So that's one way to remediate vulnerabilities. Of course, if I can click on this one, I can start to deploy to agent. So this one has an update. Hopefully. So you see it where it can deploy update. So I can click here, deploy update. I can select my endpoint group. I can add more endpoint group. For example, I can, so that's why we recommend to have multiple endpoint groups. So you can create group based on the RxD attribute, but it can be based on the OS version, or can be based if, for example, it's a critical endpoint or a less critical or laptop endpoints. So you can do whatever you want. And then the next step is to schedule when you want to apply this patch. Okay. So that's one way. What we recommend is that you create automation. But maybe I have some time. So just me explain you how we, some of the feature that we have. Nice one. So we have here on the left, the install software. So this is all the application that we have detected on your environment. Okay. And from here, again, you can see a lot of information. You can see the version, the newest update version, if there is one, and all the endpoint involved. So I can click on it, and I can see all the endpoint involved having this software. And from here, you can say, okay, I'm going to deploy the software towards your endpoint, or to deploy update, or to uninstall. For example, if one application is not approved in my organization, I can say, I want to remove on all my endpoint. Here in the left, you have the update approval. So basically, this is all the updates that we have detected on your environment. And from here, as you can see, some of the updates are attached to a CVE and some are not, okay? So again, from here, you can say, I can install now, I can approve or decline, but you don't have to approve or decline manually unless if you want to, because in automation, and that's where we bring value. So we will automate all these updates for you. So all you need is to create a policy to deploy update. We have policy to deploy software, to schedule reboot, to run a script, to install software, and to use Ring. You can see. I don't have time to explain Ring, but you can easily figure out that a Ring is you deploy your update in a test environment, dev environment, and then to production. So it's like chaining. So let's see how to deploy updates. So like Dominika say, you can do it in 5 minutes. That's no joke, actually. I will take probably more time than that to explain. So the first thing you need to choose is which update you need to deploy. All means that all the update that we are displaying here in the update approval. What we recommend is that you use filter and you create a policy for patching application, patching OS. That would be a start. So here you can choose if you want to decide only application, you can choose application. If you want to do OS, you can do OS mandatory. You can play with our filters. For example, you can exclude as well. I don't want to, for example, to install driver yet, so only OS mandatory and exclude drivers. Then the second step is to select which update I'm going to apply. So if I select manually, remember you need to select approve or decline, but you can let Action1 do it for you. So here, Action1 is going to approve all this update for your current organization. Okay. You can have a delay. For example, sometimes there is unfortunately some bad KB patch from Microsoft. So sometimes it's better to delay like 3 or 4 days, depending on what you want in your policy. You can say, okay, I'm going to delay for 3 days just to be safe. If there is a reboot, you can say, I don't want reboot, like for servers. I'm scheduling my reboot every Sunday night or Sunday morning. Or you can say, if you are targeting laptops and users, they will receive this pop-up message. And of course, you can translate the message. You can change the timeout. So that means here, after 4 hours, we will force the reboot. And you can customize this pop-up. So you can put your own logos. They will know that's coming from you. We will deactivate, you can pause some updates. Again, if there is a bad, or there is, you read on the news that this KB patch from Microsoft is causing some issues. So you just pause it and remove from the patching. So we will deactivate Windows Update. So this is important if you are using WSUS in your environment. You probably have a GPO. You need to disable it unless Action1 is not going to be able to update your OS for Windows Update. For third-party application, we don't need that, of course. Then you select your endpoint group, and then you schedule when you want to do it. You can rename your policy, of course, so something that for your naming convention, and then you are going to select when you are going to run it. So we are not going to run this once. We are going to run this every X hour. We are going to run weekly or monthly after Patch Tuesday. And so let's pretend we're going to run weekly, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can select AM or PM, so it will be in the evening. You can select the local endpoint time if you have user traveling. It is convenient. And we have a retry window. Here in that case, we have 24 hours, but you can modify it to minutes, hours, or days. So what does it mean, 24 hours? So it means on Monday, if the endpoint is not available, we will retry during 24 hours. So as soon as the endpoint is going to connect to the internet on Tuesday, we will communicate with the agent and ask him to download the updates and to push them. And you click finish, and that's it. So basically, that's how you create policy. For example, let me show you. I have one doing OS only. I have one doing application only, and I have one doing like a browser update. So this is convenient. So you have been recently a lot of Chrome's updates, so you can build one policy like this: application, critical, non-security update, other update, and Chrome specifically, or it can be Edge, or it can be. And I have one doing Defender update. So basically, it's simple, like security update, feature update for Defender, and this one I'm running like every 6 or 24 hours to be more aggressive. I will stop here for questions, if there is any? No?
Yes, thank you, Francois and Dominica. Francois, just to clarify, you finished the technical demonstration, right? Now we can move on to the questions.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Actually, one of the questions was answered by even showing. I can repeat it out loud. It was, can you please describe the level of visibility and reporting the platform provide for patch management and vulnerability status? So I think you not even described it.
Yeah, but we have even more. So beside the dashboard, we have 100 reports on patch management, on IT asset management, so you can find all the underwear inventory of your endpoint. You can save that to a CSV or HTML or receive by email, and it's always live, so it's you can refresh here. So
Perfect.
we have much more than I showed to you.
Yes, thank you. One more question. In the very beginning of presentation, you mentioned that cloud native architecture communicate with remote endpoints without a VPN. So there was the question, how does it work? How does this platform communicate without a VPN?
Yeah, so basically our agent is talking to our servers or web console by using the 443 port. There is, I don't think I have, yeah. If you want more information, you can go here to documentation, system requirement, and firewall configuration. And here you have all the information and all the port that we are using. Is there any other question? No.
No, that was it with the question.
So to answer deeply, you see here the information. So the agent is doing all the work. So it's going to talk to the Windows Update Management servers. It's going to talk to our CDN server for third-party application, where we retrieve all these third-party updates for you. And we have our remote desktop relay servers. So we have RDP, I didn't mention here in the demo, but we have our own RDP protocol.
Thanks for the detailed answers, and again, even for presenting and visualization. So it always helps to understand better. In general, thank you both. In such a short time, you managed to present a solution and even show how does it work in practice and how to deploy. Thanks both.